Hello, 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 and welcome. I'm Sheila Balgobin, known as the Dream Decipherer, and this is Dream Your Life, Live Your Dream Live, where we look at all things dreams. So, my subject today is whether dreams can be predictive or can foretell future events. And they can also look at events from the past. Psychologically, time has no meaning. And what I mean by that is that, for example, to give you an example, grief. Grief can be just as sharp and acute and painful today when something has happened and we've lost someone, and 20, 30 years later. So in terms of our psychological makeup, time is meaningless. And from what I understand from friends of mine who are mediums and psychics, what they say is time really is relative. There's really no such thing in the energetic or spirit realm as time. So if you think of it as you're standing in the middle of a circle, and depending on where you look at the circle, you could be looking at what is subjectively the past. Or if you look in a different direction, facing a different direction, what you're looking at is subjectively called the future. Now, when clients have come to me about their dreams, that may be about things that are occurring currently in their lives, or things that have happened in their past that haven't been looked at and resolved, or possibly things that may be coming in the future. My one example is that I had a number of clients coming to me before the pandemic broke out and really affected the entire world. I had clients from all over the planet who were dreaming about bugs, insect invasions, or dreaming about China, or different things. As I've mentioned before, the unconscious mind can speak in metaphors, as if. So there was speaking of bugs and insects and infestation by insects, and that, we call viruses bugs. So being infected and overrun by bugs, in this case, COVID, was a case in point. And I had clients, like I said, from all over the planet that were having similar dreams. So we can dream about future events. How much further into the future can depend. It could be a few days, it could be a few weeks, it could even be longer than that. And I know from a personal experience of mine, one client of mine got some information about her health and about taking care of her health now so that she didn't develop heart problems in the future. So there can be a predictive quality with regard to dreams. Now, personally, I know that that's the case. I had a dream that literally saved my life, as well as one that brought my husband back into my life. He was an old flame and came back into my life many years later, and we married. So their dreams can indicate something that is coming to us or going to be happening in our lives. Now, to give you the more happy example, I was living in Los Angeles, and I was dreaming about this man that I had known in my past, and we were in this little boat, little boat that was being swamped by stormy seas and waves. And my thought during this lucid dream, because I was aware I was dreaming, made me wonder how in the world was I going to get from Los Angeles to London in this little boat. It was a bit bizarre. But the dream kept coming back at me and disturbing my sleep until I finally wrote a letter to the last address that I had for this person. And about a month and a half, 2 months later, I got a phone call. And the reason why it took so long is because I had transposed the numbers of the apartment that he was living in. But I eventually got the message, and at 18 years after we first met, we got married. So that was something that the universe was pointing out to me, something that was coming into my life. And yes, the stormy weather and the little boat that never turned over in the storms did, to a certain extent, indicate the life that we had and the experiences that we went through together. But like the dream, the boat never turned over. Our relationship never faltered, even though we went through storms at times together. So, as I said, the dreams can point to the future. There have been instances where people have dreamt about 9/11 way in advance, as much as a year in advance or more. That in different parts of the world, I mean, and not knowing that that's what they were dreaming about, but that's what, once the dream had made itself clear, or the event had occurred, it made the dreams clear. There were even movies and comic strips and different things that were uncannily like the event itself, and this was way in advance of the actual occurrence. Now, for me, that was what actually saved my life. I had used to walk through the towers every single day as a stockbroker. So whether going to and from work, executing my various duties, or even just buying lunch, I walked through the towers every day. And a series of dreams that were absolutely terrifying. I would wake up with my heart pounding and in a cold sweat, that indicated shipwrecks. And it perplexed me for a long time. What does this mean? What was this about shipwrecks? I wasn't going anywhere on a cruise, didn't know anybody going on a cruise. And it was frightening because for the first time in my life, I couldn't understand what the dream actually meant, which was even more scary. But the dreams actually stopped because of an action that I took, which I didn't think at the time was related to this dream, but in hindsight, I know it was. And that was, rather than staying in New York, I decided to return to London to join my husband there, instead of having him join me in New York. And the moment I made that decision, the dream stopped. So I had taken an action that had changed, in a way, the course of future events. Little did I know that until a little over a year later, when on my way back to work from lunch, I got people were running around, they were screaming, they were crying, and I couldn't figure out what was going on. And all I could get out of people was plane, tower, hit. And at that moment, I finally understood what the dream had been trying to tell me. It was about 9/11. And it boggles my mind to think that one decision on my part had the capacity to change my life and my future. And that is the whole purpose of dreams, to get you to look at something that is of importance to you, whether it be on a personal or professional level, and to act in some way, whether that be to desist from doing something or to go forward with a particular action. And that, whether you're talking about past, talking about future, or talking about present, is the objective of dreams, is to, our unconscious is moving us to look at something and act accordingly. And the secret to manifestation when it comes to your dreams is to act. It's actually to act. And it doesn't have to be a great, big, humongous decision like, deciding to move countries. It could be something very small but significant. It could be, I had a dream about sharing my gifts for dream interpretation, and what I did was created a little gift, a little box I wrapped it very pretty with a nice bow, and I would put it where I could see it every day to remind me that the universe was telling me to open and use my gift. So to manifest whatever it is the dream is calling us to do, you need to do some small act, perhaps sometimes a larger act, but a small but significant act which honors your dream. And that's one of the things that I teach people when I am showing them how to interpret their own dreams and use that information to create their best lives. There are 4 steps. One is to learn how to manifest dreams, to call them up, for a second to learn how to remember dreams and recall them better, and then finally to interpret them. But the final step, which really kickstarts everything, is to honor your dream. And like I said, it doesn't have to be some great grand gesture. It just needs to be something simple but meaningful. It could be as simple as writing in your dream journal or buying a bunch of flowers. So this is a tip for if you're interested in looking at your dreams and working with your dreams. Start to pay attention to them. Write them down. What you find is when you're looking at your dreams over a period of time, they will start to show you patterns. Either certain people, certain places, certain events will show up regularly, and which is a signal to you for something or other, whatever that might be. Everybody's dream symbols are different. If a black cat for me is not going to mean what a black cat means for someone else, so that we have to, over time, learn to interpret our own symbols and understand what they're trying to tell us. So there you have it. Dreams can predict future events to a certain extent, whether they be in our personal lives or on a global scale, as, like I said, people dreaming about the pandemic before it hit. So if you're struggling with a dream that seems to keep coming at you, but you can't make heads or tails of it, send me a message, DM me, or go to my details and book a free, no obligation consultation. Not only can you get information and help with a specific dream, but if you're not sleeping well, you're not dreaming well either. So if sleep is a problem for you, you can also get in contact with me for some tips with regard to dreams. Now, dreams can have a predictive quality, as I've mentioned before, and they can also give us important and vital information with regard to our health, which is what happened with one of my clients. She was able to get vital information with regard to her heart health as a result of a dream that she had, and because she had gone through my course, she was able to decipher what the meaning was and actually start to take steps to improve her heart health before it actually became an issue. There have been other cases that have been noted about that, with people dreaming about cancers, dreaming about different health issues, that had they been able to decipher that information in their dreams, they would have perhaps prevented serious problems with regard to their health later on, because they would have caught it early enough. The unconscious mind knows way in advance what's going on with us before it can even become a physical symptom that can be detected. So if if you're really you making use of the information contained in your dreams, it can keep you not only on the right track in terms of your personal, professional lives, but it can also keep you healthy. So there you have it. Predictive dreams and why and how they come along with us and how they can be useful for us. And again, if you have a question about dreams that you feel may be predictive in nature, get in contact and let's have a chat. Thanks so much for watching and listening. Have a great rest of the day and week, and I'll talk to you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.